Hey, crypto family, nemesis with the crypto brothers. And man, I am glad to be home. End of the day, it was hot as heck in somewhere, Illinois. So, yeah, it was like 85, maybe 90 degrees. I don't know. It felt like it was like 100 out with the humidity. Oh my God. But thankfully, mining room issue with all the heat and humidity. I've got enough fans circulating, enough air in there. Awesome. Um, yeah, it's like I was kind of worried that it was going to be a little too humid for everything, but nothing throttled down. Do have one card that's getting a little on the hot side. I'm probably going to, at some point in time, take the card off, pull the cooler off, and probably put on some new thermal paste onto the chipset and slap the cooler back together. Probably do a video on. Not sure if I'm going to do it or not. Whew. That being said, jump right up on into it. As we see here, sea of green. Woo! That's a good sign. At least the market's kind of halfway trying to rebound here. Ethereum coming up. Ripple seeming to be one of the bigger winners. Wow. Yeah. It's a little easier to see on this. So, Bitcoin's $6,563. It's been actually going up since I've been watching this. Ethereum's at 224. Can it break that $230 marker? We'll see. And Ripple almost hitting that 50-cent mark. You guys bought in at $1. You're halfway back to breaking even. Tether still $1. Very questionable though, but it's still a Ethereum Classic, even with its listing onto Coinbase, isn't doing that hot either. Take a look at the big winners. Big winners was Timecoin. Up 182%. Ooh, that seems like a little bit of a pump. Hopefully no dump tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow if it crashes down 200%. Right now it's currently trading just under 5 cents. Next winner up at 102%. Oba Chain. You got Opus, Exchange N, Life, Yuki. I mean, I haven't even heard of a lot of these ones. I've heard of Crowdcoin. I've heard of Panda Coin, but I don't really know anything about them. A lot of these ones I just really haven't really heard of. Let's see about the big losers. We got Soma hitting a big 41.44% down. Wow, that hurts. Anybody hitting that coin, that was a bad retrade. Going into my little technicals, and then the other day I was showing this kind of descending wedge. I'm like, anytime you see a wedge pattern, you never can tell that it's going to break up or down. Whenever you kind of got a little descending trend like this, it tends to follow. But at some point in time, there's got to be enough pressure for enough resistance for it to bounce off that level. And it looks like it found its resistance at $6,100. So right at that marker, it bounced back up. That's a good sign. So hopefully that 6,100 marker is the bottom. Doesn't just keep bouncing down even harder. I don't mind if it trades a little sideways for a little while and then comes back up. A lot of people are still calling for more of this crypto winter. Some are saying crypto nuclear winter, where we're halfway through our bear market, which means we got another 8 or 9 months to go, something like that. That'll hurt. That being news. Bad. Bam. So this one by Cointelegraph, the U.S. lawmakers say IRS too focused on enforcement should provide clarity for crypto taxation. And that one, I kind of do have to agree on. They're so worried about making sure that we're not laundering money and that they're getting their taxes, that as a miner or as an investor, the taxation on it is just ridiculous. And there's really no clear cut, this is how you've got to do it. I mean, even from a miner's perspective, there's the laws are really kind of sketchy on how I'm supposed to do my framework of reporting my assets, considering that they were never bought, they were mined, and that I did pay electricity for them and all this stuff. So I've still got to talk to a consultant in order to figure out how I've got to go about all this too. This is not the easiest thing. They're just too worried about, like they're saying, too focused on enforcement and just getting their money versus trying to make it easier for us to do our business day to day and comply to what they need. They need a better framework, that's for sure. Maria Hewlett, this one is written by Maria Hewlett. U.S. lawmakers have called upon Internal Revenue Service (IRS) to issue clarified and comprehensive crypto taxation guidance. Thank you. In an open letter submitted yesterday. The letter was sent to an acting IRS Commissioner David Cutler by Congress members David Schwenkirk, oh man, I'm probably butchering that one, Darian LaHood, and Brad Westernstrup, Kevin Brady, Lynn Jenkins from the Committee on the Ways and Means. It opened by calling attention to a prior letter sent by the representatives of May last year, which had already questioned the agency's lack of comprehensive crypto taxation strategies. Since then, the lawmaker claims the IRS continued to expand enforcement activities but without issuing any further guidance to taxpayers. And that's an issue. They're wanting to just imprison anybody basically that's not compliant, but they're not going to tell them how to be compliant. They need to pull their heads out of their butt and just lay it out on the law. What is that they're looking for and how we're supposed to do it. They need to hash it out before they're worrying about how to enforce anything. That's just really messed up. The representative deems that the IRS has had more than adequate time to work through complexities after its preliminary rules were issued 4 years ago. These indicated that cryptos would be treated as property for tax purposes in the U.S. and were issued in March 2014. The lawmakers noted that in September 2016, the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration had reported that the IRS crypto tax strategy was incomplete and had already called for updated guidance at that time, further noting that other associations have since called on the agency to provide additional clarity for taxpayers. However, the lawmakers consider that, despite the issuance of only preliminary guidance on the issues back in March of 2014, the IRS has made enforcement of the guidance a priority, undertaking robust enforcement actions on a number of fronts. So they're more worried about just jailing people and fining them for laws that are as vague as can be, so they can just sit there and basically steal from people, their own people that they're supposed to be. That's messed up. As an example of the IRS robust enforcement actions to date, the lawmakers draw attention to the agency's decision to summon records from an American user of crypto exchange wallet service provider Coinbase in July 2017, which since has seen a protracted legal battle set in. So they're more worried about going after the exchanges so they can figure out how to go after everybody else that may or may not have reported everything, because they might have missed out on some of their gains that they thought they were entitled to. Gotta love it when enforcement agencies feel entitled to things that don't belong to them, especially when they haven't even set up prior rulings that are just clear cut and this is how it is, black and white, done, follow the laws. They don't even have that all the way. They have it so vague so they can do whatever they want, and this is kind of showing their hand right here. The lawmakers argue that while the IRS has protectively continued to remind taxpayers of the penalties for non-compliance with its guidance, its failure to introduce more robust taxation frameworks severely hinders taxpayers' ability to meet their obligations. Thank you. The letter closes by stating that the representatives will be asking the Government Accountability Office to undertake an audit on the matter. Somebody needs to sit there and do something. God. As previously reported, data released ahead of the close of preceding tax year suggested that just 0.04% of the tax filers were reporting capital gains from crypto investments to the IRS. Because by the time that they were doing their taxes, the market had already crashed. So they were also figuring that in, because again, there's no real clear cut how to actually to deal with the cryptocurrency market. So I believe that, I think the person who wrote this is kind of spot on with things, where tax people just need to back off on how they're going to be enforcing everything, because they're kind of enforcing a bunch of smoke and mirrors just so that they can basically profit in the crypto market without having to be in the crypto market, I guess. But if you have any other ideas that are a little bit different, or you want to add to this, certainly drop a comment in down below. While you're down there, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Stuff kind of helps me out. So with that being said, I will bid you guys a good night, and I will see you guys next time.